Hello everyone, my name is Madison Hildreth. I'm 17 years old. I'm a junior. I like to stay busy. I sometimes commit myself to too many things, but I enjoy being involved. I'm in National Charity League. I'm in National Honor Society, Best Buddies, Diamond Darling, Student Climate Committee. I'm a varsity cheerleader for Frisco. And I work at Cowboy Up. It's a men's salon. And I enjoy volunteering, working out, traveling, and I recently found a new love for reading. I've always been forced to read at school, and I never realized that I actually really enjoy it if I'm reading what I like. And these are some pictures. That top one is with my friends Nicole and Reagan, and that was at one of our games, and then that's my sister over there, and then that's my family when we went to California to visit my cousins and aunt. And why I got into ISM? Well, when I was younger, I was not confident at all. I was actually really shy. I would hide behind my mom's legs when someone would try to talk to me. Now, most kids, that's normal for them to be shy, but I was way beyond shy. I couldn't even look anyone in the eyes. So I started getting into acting classes, and I started doing cheer and other sports and activities, and I started to come out of my shell a little bit. And then after I started doing acting, I realized I want to be an actress when I get older. So I got into the industry. I got into an agency in Dallas. But I started to realize it's a very, very competitive field. Now, most are. It's normal for all jobs to be competitive, but it was way beyond. So I started to pick something or lean towards something that was more of a reality. And so that's when I came across being a news reporter or sportscaster. I really had a love for the news, and I still wanted a job that allowed me to be on camera and to be able to talk to people. So that's when I came across this profession. And then that's when I also realized about ISM. I wanted to do something that would allow me to further my career and ambitions, and I knew that being in AP math classes and stuff, that's good, but it wouldn't help me get to where I want to go. And so I heard about ISM through some other people, and they said it'll really boost your confidence and allow you to kind of step outside your comfort zone, and it's incredibly beneficial, so that's why I decided to try out. And that's where my quote comes in, my path towards success. Success can only be achieved when the inspiration for the reward is stronger than the fear of failure, and Herb Cohen said that. And this is so incredibly true, and I like to remind myself this whenever I have to step outside my comfort zone. Because if you're scared of failing, and if you're scared of really branching out and trying something new, you're never going to go anywhere. If you want to be successful, you have to take those chances and take risks sometimes. It will be scary, but in the long run, it will be worth it. My first interview was with Shelly Slater, and she's a news reporter and anchor at WFAA. And she reminded me to have thick skin. As a news reporter or a sportscaster, you will be faced with a lot of really mean and negative comments. People will say things that you don't want to hear. They'll tell you that they don't like the way you're dressed or you look weird or something. Just mean things that you cannot let affect you. And also to be friends with everyone, and it's important to have the ability to speak different languages. Now, I took Spanish, didn't really remember that much from it, but if I want to, I guess I could learn more online or something, because that's very important to be able to communicate with different people. And Hillary Kennedy, she was a TV host. Now she's a very talented blogger, and she said to make yourself stand out, because it's a very competitive field, so you have to have something that allows you to stand out, that it factor. Also, create a strong website and a link to your demo reel or blog, which is basically a bunch of your old videos and segments that you've done. And then also, smaller markets are a good thing. It's good to kind of start small and then work your way up. You're going to make mistakes getting into a new profession, and it's best to do that in a small area where not that many people are going to see you. And Deborah Ferguson, she was very sweet. She's a news anchor at NBC5, and she said to learn to ad-lib, always be aware of things that are going on, stay updated on current events, and stay curious. If you're curious, you're going to want to learn more, and learning more, you'll just be more successful. And Newey Scruggs. I really liked him because he's actually a sportscaster at NBC5, so he had a different outlook on the whole industry because he is more of a sports guy. And he said not to be afraid to fail and learn how to operate the equipment, because sometimes you might have to do some behind-the-scenes work, and it's kind of good to have an idea of how everything goes and how you can put it together. Also, don't take any negative comments personally. That's kind of like what Shelly Slater said. Don't let anything affect you, because people will be mean. And then Gina Miller, she was a sports anchor, and now she runs that Sports Girl Media, and she said to remember to look at both sides of a story, because there's always two sides to a story. And starting out is hard, so continue going, and then keep your composure, stay professional, and always have good communication skills. And out of those 5, I chose Shelly Slater to my mentor, so that's who I have right now. Just have to get in touch with her. And then my research that I've acquired from all of them, these are a couple little quotes up here. And my favorite one was from Deborah Ferguson, and she said to show compassion when interviewing someone that doesn't want to talk or maybe a bit nervous when talking to a reporter, because there will be people that you have to have and you have to talk to them and get information from them in order to make your segment good. And you don't want to get in trouble with your boss or with the station if you don't go out and get this interview. So sometimes you kind of have to convince people, just remember to be nice to them and make them want to talk to you. And then more research that I found just online or different blogs. Probably my favorite one is this top one. It's embedded versus objective reporting, and when I first started reading about it, I had no idea what the difference was. Embedded reporting was first kind of invented, I guess you could say, in 2003 during the Iraq War, when reporters would go out to the battlefield and they would actually, everything that they kind of saw, they put it into their reports, but it was really just their experience, so no one else could really understand what's going on because they just had it from one side. Whereas objective reporting is reporting on the whole angle and the global angle so that everyone can kind of develop their own opinion, and it's not so much through that first point of view. And then second, when creating a pitch, give the global angle, as I said before, and how can everyone relate to it. Also, people are going to ask, okay, why should I listen to this? You may be talking about a subject that not everyone can relate to, and people are just going to tune in out. But you want to be able to give a report where everyone, even if they're not involved in it, not interested, they still want to listen to it. And next, brand yourself. For example, I said Dale Hansen. He's very good at branding himself. He's someone that you say, you automatically think of his personality, you kind of laugh. He's very blunt, but that's what makes him him, and that's why he is so successful, because he can brand himself and really stand out. Also, connect with key players. That basically means be able to connect with professionals that will help you in the long run and give you good advice or that you can meet with, such as our mentors in here. And you're always in the public eye, all the time. And that's sometimes hard for reporters to understand. People in this profession, I don't want to say they can't make mistakes, but they have to remember what they're doing at all times. They have to be smart on social media, but that really goes for everyone. But since you are in the public eye and people know who you are, you can't really make mistakes. You can make mistakes, but you just can't mess up, do anything wrong, or look bad, because that not only puts you at a negative angle, but it also makes your station look bad and everyone that you work for. Also, to know a little bit about everything. As a news reporter, you might have someone come up to you asking about a current event. And if you don't know it, that's kind of embarrassing considering you're supposed to be reporting on these things and giving people updates. So it's good to kind of have an idea of everything that's going on. The important stuff mainly. And then to my original work. Ari actually asked me to do the original work with her, and I was so excited about doing it, because we have been friends and stuff, and so it was really neat to have someone in the same profession and being able to work with her. So we met at Panera to discuss what we're going to do, and our original idea was nothing of what we ended up doing. But we had an idea to create a Twitter account and start tweeting things about what's going on the basketball team and the stats and reports of that, but it's not really hard, and that doesn't really show a lot of dedication, and it really wouldn't take that much time. We just have to go to the basketball games. So instead, we decided to create a little mini segment over the Centennial game versus Frisco game. And that was a really good game because both are really good teams, and so we were excited to see how it would turn out. And the first part of the segment, we kind of did off memorization. I did the opening, she did the closing, but we looked at the stats and stuff, and then we completely just ad-libbed, I guess you could say, and completely improv the whole thing. So that was kind of hard, a little bit of a challenge, but it was also good practice because sometimes you may have to do that. You're doing a report and you have to improv the whole thing. Say the teleprompter goes out or something, and that's not easy. So it was kind of good having that practice. The rest we wrote down on a script and had someone hold it up and we read it. And then also we went into Mr. Burnett's room and we recorded behind in front of a green screen, and then someone in the class actually added a cool Frisco logo behind. And so on the next slide I will show you our original work, and it turned out pretty good. It took a long time because we couldn't do this in class. This wasn't something that I could sit down here and work on. It was all in Mr. Burnett's room, so everything was outside of school. So it took a lot of dedication, but it was worth it, and I had a lot of fun. And it was neat being able to put together my own segment and then do the behind the scenes too, and the editing and fix the lighting and all that good stuff. So you should be able to just click on it and that should work. Who?
What? About all of our methods.
Okay. You might be able to search it by the title. I don't think it's a private video. Okay, that's okay then. Thanks. But yes, it was very fun being able to do that and to work with her and to put it all together. And so my goals for the future, my first one is to set up a time to actually meet with my mentor, because I haven't got to yet, but hopefully we'll be able to work that out. And as a news reporter or a sportscaster, you're very busy. Like I said, you get a lot of trash emails from people that you really don't want to hear from, but that's okay. And then my second one is to get accepted into ISM2 so that I can continue to study what I want to study and be able to learn even more about my subject, and then also get practice in my field of study. Hopefully if I am meeting with Shelley Slater, I'll be able to maybe just try sitting behind the desk and reading the teleprompter, because I've always practiced with a piece of paper and then the typed writing, so I've never actually got to try it with the real teleprompter. I just think it'd be really neat to see how fast you need to talk or how slow you need to talk, and when it shows you to take pauses and stuff, it'd be good practice. And then fourth, make connections that will benefit me in my future and also just right now. Meeting new people is always beneficial, and getting those connections who can later on help you getting into the field or maybe help you getting into a good school or something. And with that, I want to get accepted into either UCLA, UT, or Mizzou. And those are all really hard schools to get into, but they have really good broadcast journalism programs. But it's just more of the academics that I need to work on. So those are my goals. I hope you enjoyed this speech. I hope you learned something either about embedded reporting versus objective reporting. If any of you ever randomly realize you want to jump into the broadcast journalism program or career, I hope you learned a little bit about it. Thank you.